Baik Sobat Rimba, kita lanjutkan kembali cerita-cerita kita atau diskusi kita dengan kedua orang international researcher yang sudah menceritakan bagaimana tadi ya latar belakang mereka mengenal Rafflesia dan bagaimana awalnya mereka bertemu untuk project Rafflesia sampai akhirnya mereka melakukan project itu atau melakukan penelitian Rafflesia itu di Bengkulu saat ini. Dan kita akan tanya lebih lanjut lagi apa sebenarnya mereka kerjakan dengan Rafflesia di Bengkulu ini ya. Tentu semua juga ingin tahu. Baik, ya back to you, Pak Chris and Pak Pat, sorry. And yeah, you start your project working with Rafflesia since 2022, right? No?
Yes, I mean we were working on it before then.
Oh, before that
but,
already
but
started.
that's when I first visited Pat and Adrian in UPLB.
Okay, but in Bengkulu,
in Bengkulu we came in November 2022.
2022.
Yes.
Okay, so would you like to share about this what the real activity, your research for working with Rafflesia here, just like like identify something like their type, because on your class I watch your video, you tell me different habitat, different smell, different shape, something like that. So a different type of Rafflesia, they have like the specific smell, specific shape, specific color as well. So what the specific project like interest you're working with Rafflesia? Maybe we start by Chris first.
So I think I would broadly categorize it into two. It's understand and protect, or maybe three: understand, protect, and admire. Because and the admire part is important because I'll start in reverse. It's important because we must excite and inspire people with this very special plant, because I believe that we will only protect what we care for.
Okay.
And one of the things that is so engaging about being here in Bengkulu is that the people care very deeply about their flower. And we know that because when we drive around, we see models of Rafflesia everywhere, we see it on people's clothes. And so it's very inspiring to see that, and that's very important. And also the people we meet in the local communities. So we've met people such as a chap called Yogi Apriento, I think.
Yes, some local guys working with the Rafflesia conservation. Yes, KPPL, yes.
Sofian.
Sofian, yes.
And then a local lad called Exi. So we've met lots and lots of people who are very passionate about Rafflesia and sharing Rafflesia with other people. So and we seek to find ways to engage people with the mystery and the excitement of Rafflesia, and that may be through us visiting and then sharing our experiences online, and that it creates excitement, international excitement. We also are interested in generating media attention with the work we do. So sometimes the media are interested. So maybe later we'll talk about a project we're doing in Pat's land grant in the Philippines that received national media attention in the Philippines.
Okay.
And then I've written in creative language, not scientific, a book in the UK about my experiences of finding Rafflesia to engage an audience in the UK with the special flora of Southeast Asia. So that's one aspect. The other one I said was to understand Rafflesia. So understanding Rafflesia is important. In order to protect it, we must understand it. So one of the projects that we're talking about here with Professor Pak Argus is, for example, can we understand better the genetic relatedness of all of the Rafflesia across Southeast Asia? Because at the moment we don't understand that. And to understand the relatedness requires a multi-pronged approach. So one is to use objectively DNA markers, for example, sequencing, and that is the best way definitively to define the relationships. But also we need to then look at the morphology of these plants as well, because then we need both so that we can understand within a clade, if you understand what I mean, which is which and how to name those. Nomenclature, taxonomy is very important because that is the currency of conservation,
Yeah.
because we can only conserve what we know to exist,
Yes.
and taxonomy helps us know what exists.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect. And then, sort of tangentially, if you will, we're interested in bringing in others who have expertise that can help us to understand Rafflesia as a wondrous thing. You know, it's one of the natural wonders of the world.
Yeah.
And so in Oxford, I've brought in chemists and mathematicians to help us to understand the biology of Rafflesia for the sake of knowing and understanding, because that's what we as humans are compelled by. We're curious
Yes.
as beings, and
Yes.
we're very curious about Rafflesia, and so we want to understand it better. And then the third, which I've touched on, is the conservation, and that's very complex, as we all know. There isn't a single and easy solution to conservation. Habitat destruction is the biggest threat to Rafflesia, but the drivers of habitat destruction are complex and multifaceted. And I think one of the things we've discovered in being here is that sometimes it's smallholder farmers, for example, who are making a living, and that's very difficult to find a solution to that, so that people can coexist in harmony with the forest and with Rafflesia. But I think one of the things we've identified as important is local young people as custodians for their flora, trailblazers with their flag for Rafflesia. Keeping the generations connected to Rafflesia to understand its importance, and that will help inform conservation priorities. And then at a local level, one of the things that I'm really proud of being a part of with Pat and his team is we are trying ex situ propagation in the Philippines, where some species are very much under threat. And we learnt how to do this in Bogor Botanic Garden in Java, and we took that knowledge back. We're not encouraging that lots of people go out and collect Rafflesia because it's a very delicate situation, and it's much better to protect it in the habitat. But in some situations, it may be appropriate to very carefully try and take some from one site and introduce it to another to help safeguard the future existence.
Okay, to save the habitats. Okay, thank you so much. So there's a lot of, aspects, like the big project, right?
Yes.
Because working for the genetic, morphology, and a lot of the scientific aspects are working for the many expertise, and then nomenclature, taxonomy, something like that, and also the final, the most important also conservation. Yeah, wow. Maybe you can add more some information.
The reality is when we first came here, and even now, there is no detailed or structured project.
Okay.
We have. But Chris mentioned it. We want to understand, we want to protect, and we want to conserve Rafflesia. And why Bengkulu in the first place? Because first of all, we have some collaborators here. But for us botanists, Rafflesiologists, Bengkulu is the
Capital.
This is the root of all the Rafflesias. So we were just informed by Pak Agus that we're redoing what Stanford Raffles did during his exploration, his team's exploration in 1815. So for Rafflesiologists, Bengkulu is a very special place. Rafflesia rooted from this place. So what I admired most for the people in Bengkulu is they care deeply in with the Rafflesia. They care deeply. You take pride on your species, because we have a lot of Rafflesia species, but we don't have that promotions or less than 1% of Filipinos know that there are Rafflesia in the Philippines.
Okay.
So, but here the people are, very, very proud of your species, and you really take it as symbol, as a national symbol. And the flagship species and of course, when you take pride of it, you appreciate it, conservation will follow.
Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, so far in from the Bengkulu governments already like the yeah like the promote Rafflesia, and then they give name like Bengkulu is the land of Rafflesia, something like. But unfortunately, just not many thing like the concern like the working for the research project for Rafflesia from the government. Still, like the limited people like concerned about Rafflesia, like Pak Agus, Professor Agus, and then also in around our university as well. Not many people working with Rafflesia, even though like we have to be proud. Yeah, I mean because Bengkulu has a giant flower in the world, right? So yeah, I hope maybe from this start from your project when we like the campaign, we promote this our podcast and everything, we can also like the encourage people to like the more concern about Rafflesia, because we don't know someday maybe we'll disappear. We don't know about the climate change or something like that. They like use the land like change for the land use, also like make the Rafflesia habitat damage, and then there's no any tetrastigma can grow well. There's no any Rafflesia. Iya, jadi Sobat Rimba ini concern mereka ya. Jadi ini banyak sekali sebetulnya proyek yang mereka lakukan di Bengkulu. Jadi tidak hanya mereka hanya datang berkunjung gitu ya mengidentifikasi, tetapi mereka juga akan melakukan banyak proyek untuk mengetahui genetiknya gitu ya. Jadi artinya ini berbagai macam Rafflesia di Bengkulu ini bagaimana sih? Apakah ada keterkaitan secara genetisnya antara jenis yang satu dengan jenis yang lain? Kemudian bagaimana morfologinya masih terus dikaji, karena berbagai tipe Rafflesia yang ada di Provinsi Bengkulu ini beda warna, beda bentuk, beda ukuran, dan beda baunya juga gitu ya. Nah ini juga masih banyak hal yang belum diketahui tentang Rafflesia, juga tentang taksonominya, tentang nomenklaturnya, penamaannya juga masih ada beberapa hal yang memang perlu terus dikembangkan dan disempurnakan, dan tentunya membutuhkan banyak sekali orang-orang ya, tidak hanya dari bidang penelitian gitu ya, dari akademisi atau dari peneliti, tentunya juga dari masyarakat dan Anda semua Sobat Rimba ya, yang semua tertarik bagaimana kita melestarikan Rafflesia. Dan Pak Pet sendiri mengatakan kita harus bangga, we have to be proud ya, jadi kita harus bangga di Bengkulu ini kita punya Rafflesia yang merupakan terbesar dan terbanyak jenisnya juga di dunia gitu ya. Jadi jangan sampai Rafflesia itu nanti hilang karena adanya ya tidak hanya perubahan iklim, tapi juga karena berbagai aktivitas kegiatan manusia. Harus ada perubahan penggunaan fungsi lahan karena butuh untuk pemukiman, untuk perkebunan, pertanian. Nah, kita tetap harus menjaga supaya Rafflesia itu bisa terus ada. Dan salah satunya dengan forecast ini ya, Forestry Podcast, mudah-mudahan bisa memberikan lebih banyak concern kepada Sobat Rimba semua untuk kita sama-sama peduli dengan Rafflesia. Okay, so you working with the Rafflesia, I think a lot of like Pak Crystal when he went to Philippines, it's really challenge to like reach the area, right? Yes. And how about in Bengkulu? Yes. So maybe you have a lot of memorable experience, something like the challenging something to work with Rafflesia in many places, right? You visit in North Bengkulu already, yes. South Bengkulu, Kaur, yes. Yeah, even so Java. Even Java, yes. Yeah, okay. And Kalimantan, have you visited Kalimantan as well? No. Oh no, okay. So yeah, we are talking in Bengkulu. So yeah, from the three regencies like Kaur, North Bengkulu and South Bengkulu. So maybe you can like share your experience. Maybe something you like maybe even like challenge, maybe obstacle to not only for reaching the place but working with the people, something like that, and everything related to your project.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that we've had such a warm welcome from everyone.
Oh, so, nice.
Actually, that's been overwhelmingly my experience in Bengkulu, is that the people are so warm, hospitable, and I feel that through this project, we've not just experienced time in the forest with wonderful plants, but we've also experienced time in people's homes.
Yeah.
You know, we've been in Decky's family home and
Nice.
and experienced the warmth and the hospitality,
Yeah.
and the food, Padang
Because
food.
you didn't find hotel in the in the village, right? Yeah. So you have to
Yes.
you have to stay in the local house. Okay, nice.
It's been very hospitable, so that's been fantastic. The other thing that that has really helped us in this adventure is the local knowledge.
Okay.
So Deki and Riki, with his support network,
Okay.
knows people across Bengkulu who, with their eyes and their phones, are able to
Yeah.
document
Yes,
in
yeah.
real time
Okay.
when these blooming events occur. And that's, you know, there are many things in 2024 that are bad about the digital world, but this is something that is good, that that
Yeah.
people can they know, and everyone's connected.
They care
And
of
20
it.
years ago, it wouldn't have been like this. And so when we come, Deki activates his network across
Yeah.
Bengkulu,
Yeah.
and they identify when and where we have these blooming predictions. That's one thing. And you asked us for a challenge. The challenge is that the blooming events are quite random and dispersed.
yeah.
So what we
Yeah.
then have to do is get up
Yeah.
at 4 in the morning
Yeah.
and drive for 8 hours,
Oh, yeah.
and then take a bike and cross a river and trek. But actually that's fine. That's what we're committed to doing.
Yeah.
And being a Rafflesiologist is not always easy.
Yeah.
If you want to see the best flowers in the world, you have to be prepared to work for it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's like a great adventure.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Pat?
It's really very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have passion working over there. Yeah.
I agree with Chris. The people are very warm and
Yeah.
very hospitable. I thought it's only the Filipinos that are warm and hospitable, but you're equally hospitable and warm. Yeah.
Okay.
And as I have said, most botanists will envy us.
Okay.
Because we
Yeah.
we were able to see 3 amazing plants just in this trip for
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah.
Amorphophallus titano,
Rafflesia.
Rafflesia arnoldi,
And-
or probably a new species.
Rhizanthus.
We need to examine it more, and the Rhizanthus
Yeah.
receptor.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
in every botanist bucket list.
Yeah.
So that's why we're very lucky.
Yeah.
And because the big difference is the network that Masdeke has.
Yeah.
Because in the Philippines, aside from the trekking is longer, more challenging, you're not certain if you will see the bloom of the flowers. Sometimes
It can end in failure.
there were times that we walked around 6 hours and then we will just observe the bud.
Yeah.
No bloom yet.
No, yeah, no flower.
But here, it's because of the awareness
Yeah.
and the conservation
Yeah.
network
They protect this
that is
area,
already
yes.
developed
Yeah.
here. You can always know where and when
Yeah.
there is a Rafflesia bloom.
Okay.
And it's becoming a tourist attraction here.
Yes. Yeah.
Even-
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not only for foreigners,
Yeah.
but also for
For
local
local.
tourists.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's what we would like to emulate when we come to the Philippines.
Oh, so in Philippines they don't like in Bengkulu as well.
It's not like
nice.
Bengkulu
Yeah.
where people are very proud of.
Yeah.
of
So
your-
I mean, when the Rafflesia is blooming, and then a lot of local people also visited because they get information from Instagram,
Yes.
for TikTok, something like that, for the social media, like from the local people they share about
Yes.
this area. And then for the like the local people, they like like the collect some
Correct.
funding, something like for like fee to see the Rafflesia more closely like that. I think it's good because
Yes.
they use the funding to like the protected area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Actually, after our first trip last November 2022, when we came back to the Philippines, Adrian already started that kind of promotion. He has this page of Rafflesia Blooming Alert.
Yes.
okay.
So it's now getting more and more attention.
Yeah.
But of course, not as compared to Bengkulu. But we're still at a very young stage of promotion.
Oke.
And that's one of our goals actually, is to connect
Yes.
best practice across regions. So, for example, the propagation expertise that exists at Bogor, the campaigning and the awareness that exists in Bengkulu. And so, rather than isolated pockets of excellence, we would like, through this community of purpose internationally, to join forces to help protect Rafflesia.
Oke, nice. Oke, so Sobat Rimba, kita harus break lagi gitu ya. Nanti kita lanjutkan lagi. Oke, we have a break again, so we will continue soon. Oke, Sobat Rimba, nantikan kembali lanjutan dari diskusi kami tentang project mereka di Bengkulu. Terima kasih.